Hi, and welcome back. I'm your host, Tracy Cooley, and we are in for a treat today. This is the third chapter on our journey in the Bend Veda Blend series. Today we're exploring the 8 limbs of yoga. Yoga is so much bigger than poses. Yoga isn't just about handstands and stretchy pants. It's a whole life philosophy disguised as a movement practice. Think of it as 8 friendly lenses for seeing and living your life with more clarity and balance, and maybe even a little magic. These are the 8 limbs of yoga, also known as Ashtanga. Ashtanga or Ashta means 8. Anga means limb. The sage Patanjali mapped them out as a guide on to living on purpose, a sort of blueprint for being a decent human while staying centered in the chaos. It's less about touching your toes and more about touching your truth. The first limb, yamas, how not to be a jerk. Let's start with the yamas. Yoga's built-in guide to not being, well, that person. These are your everyday ethics, the big-hearted don'ts that help you move through the world with grace and fewer karmic oopsies. Think of them as the social side of yoga, how you treat others, the planet, and yourself when no one's looking. In short, do less harm, tell the truth, take only what's yours, use your energy wisely, and seriously, don't hoard, whether it's stuff, grudges, or the last cookie. So here's the Yama lineup: Ahimsa, nonviolence or non-harming. Be kind always. It's not just about avoiding harm, it's about softening your words, your thoughts, and even the way you speak to yourself. Compassion is your superpower. Use it freely. Satya, truthfulness. Speak your truth, but do it with love. Honesty is an excuse for cruelty. It's about aligning what's inside with what comes out of your mouth, minus the sting. Asteya, non-stealing. Don't take what isn't given freely. People's time, energy, ideas, or peace of mind all count. Gratitude feels much better than envy anyway. Brahmacharya, moderation, energy, wisdom. Treat your energy like a precious battery. Spend it wisely on what really lights you up, not what drains you. Aparigraha, non-possessiveness. Loosen your grip, whether it's stuff, status, or expectations. Let go a little and notice how much lighter life feels. A tiny practice before you hit send. Pause and ask, is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? If not, maybe give that message a little gentle delete. The yamas, according to Patanjali, are yoga's ethical warm-up, the foundation for every pose, every breath, and every mindful moment that follows. They remind us that peace begins with how we show up in the world. The second limb, niyamas, your inner housekeeping. If yamas are how you treat everything around you, the niyamas are how you treat yourself. Think of this as inner housekeeping, not scrubbing floors, but clearing the mental and emotional clutter so you can feel steady and spacious inside. The niyamas are the do's that complement the yamas don'ts. They turn your inner world into a calmer, kinder, gentler place to live. Equal parts self-discipline, curiosity, and devotion. Here's the niyama lineup. Sauch, purity and cleanliness. Keep your space, body, and thoughts fresh. A tidier outer world helps your mind feel a little less foggy. Santosha, contentment. The art of being okay with now. You don't need a better plan, just a better perspective. Tapas, discipline and fire. That little internal spark that gets you out of bed and into your practice, even when Netflix whispers your name. Transformation loves a little heat. Swatyaya, self-study. Be curious about what makes you tick. Every reaction, habit, and aha moment is a breadcrumb leading back to yourself. Ishvar Pradhana. Surrender, loosen the reins, trust that there is something bigger at play. Call it love, flow, the universe doing universe things. A tiny practice. After brushing your teeth, name one thing that you're grateful for. It's like giving your heart a mint fresh rinse. The niyamas invite you to live with clarity, steadiness, and a quieter kind of joy, one that bubbles up when you make peace with yourself. The third limb, asanas, postures that teach you how to live in your body. Despite what Instagram might suggest, asana isn't a contortion contest. It's not about folding yourself into a pretzel. It's about discovering how to live easefully in your own skin. Asana is where philosophy becomes physical, alignment plus attention. The place where your nervous system finally exhales and your mind remembers it's attached to a body. In yoga's 8 limbs roadmap, asana is the third stop, the bridge between ethical awareness, yama plus niyama, and inner focus, the breath work, and meditative limbs to come. The goal isn't to nail the pose. It's to notice what happens when you stop fighting yourself in one. Every shape becomes a conversation between effort and ease, strength and surrender. So yes, it's posture, but it's also patience, awareness disguised as movement, mindfulness that happens to stretch your hamstrings. A tiny practice. Pick one simple shape. Any pose will do. Stay for 5 slow breaths. Soften your jaw. Soften your ego even more. And notice what shifts. Asana teaches that embodiment is not about perfection. It's about presence. And one of my favorite quotes is in the Bhagavad Gita. Yoga is the journey of the self, through the self, to the self. The fourth limb, pranayama, the art of breathing on purpose. If asana is how you live in your body, pranayama is how you live in your breath. This is where the art of inhaling and exhaling becomes a direct line to your energy, focus, and inner calm. Think of it as a nervous system alchemy, turning chaos into clarity, one conscious breath at a time. In Sanskrit, prana means life force, that ability to spark that keeps you going, and ayama means to extend or regulate. So pranayama is literally that expansion and direction of your life energy. Every inhale nourishes, every exhale releases, like a quiet dialogue between body and spirit. Breath is the bridge between your physical and mental worlds, always available and always honest. When your breath is steady, your mind follows suit. This limb reminds us that peace isn't found in escaping life, it's found in breathing through it. A tiny practice. Take 5 slow, conscious breaths right where you are. Inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. Let your shoulders drop and your belly soften. You just changed your chemistry. No incense required. Pranayama teaches that you don't need to control life, just flow with it, one breath at a time. The 5th limb, pratyahara, turning down the volume in the world. The first 4 limbs helped you move into the world, outward, embodied, and connected. Pratyahara is that gentle pivot inward. It's the art of retreat without running away. The conscious choice, turn the volume down on the distractions so you can actually hear yourself think, or better yet, not think for a moment. In Sanskrit, prati means away or withdrawal, and ahara means what we take in, all the sensory stuff, sights, sounds, scrolls, smells, tastes. So pratyahara is like your reset button for your nervous system. It doesn't mean ignoring life, but rather taking a mindful pause from the sensory buffet so you can taste again your own stillness. It's that moment when you tuck your phone away, close your eyes, and realize the world still spins without your supervision. Less noise, more knowing. A tiny practice. Close your eyes for 1 minute. Yes, just 60 seconds. Let sounds come and go without labeling them. Let your attention turn inward, like drawing the blinds on a too bright day. That soft quiet is where awareness begins. Pratyahara teaches that serenity isn't somewhere far off. It's right here, hiding between everyday buzz, just waiting for you to listen. Dharana, the 6th limb, the art of paying attention. Now that you've turned down the noise, thank you, Pratyahara. Dharana invites you to focus what's left, your attention itself. This limb is single-pointed concentration, that gentle but steady practice of staying with something instead of chasing every shiny thought down the mental side street. In Sanskrit, dharana means to hold, but not in a death grip sort of way. It's more like holding a snow globe still long enough to see what's inside. Whether you're focusing on your breath, a mantra, a candle flame, or the steam swirling from your morning coffee, dharana teaches presence, that sweet simplicity of being fully here. Of course your mind will wander. That's its nature. Dharana isn't about forcing stillness. It's about noticing when you've drifted, smiling about it, and then gently steering it back. again and again, like love in practice. A tiny practice. Pick one focus point. Maybe your breath, maybe the hum of silence, and stay with it for 10 slow breaths. That's an inhale and an exhale. That's one breath. When your mind wanders, and it will, you can guide it back without scolding. Think of it as building your mental muscle, one breath rep at a time. Dharana reminds you that your attention is the most powerful form of love. Wherever you place it, life blooms. The seventh limb, dhyana, meditation without struggle. If dharana is focusing your attention, dhyana is what happens when you let that focus soften into flow. It's meditation, but not the sit perfectly still and silent every thought or you're doing it wrong kind. It's more like the moment you forgot you're meditating because you slipped into pure awareness, or kind of like dharana is the act of focusing and dhyana is the state of being one with the focus or becoming the flame rather than gazing at it. Effortless presence, spacious stillness, the mind resting in itself. In Sanskrit, dhyana means absorption, absorption. That sweet state where the thinker, the thought, and the act of thinking all start to blur together. You're not trying to control your mind anyway. You've just simply stopped feeding it snacks of distraction. Think less discipline and more grace. The difference between watching a river rush by and realizing, oh, you are the river. Tiny practice. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and notice your breath without trying to change it. When thoughts appear, and they will, like I said, imagine them drifting by like clouds that forgot their lines. Return to the quiet between. Stay there a moment longer than you think you can. Dhyana teaches us that meditation isn't about escaping your mind. It's about meeting yourself in the stillness that's been underneath the noise all along. The eighth limb of yoga, samadhi, remembering who you were all along. After all the practice, the breath work, the stillness, and the soft rewiring of how you move through life, samadhi arrives. Not as fireworks finale, but as a quiet remembering. It's that rare moment when the boundaries blur and you feel completely connected to yourself, to life, to everything. Nothing missing, nothing extra, just pure being. In Sanskrit, sama means same or equal, and dai means to see. So samadhi is seeing everything, all of it, as one. No separation, no grasping, just deep inner calm that feels almost sacred in its simplicity. It's not an escape from life, but it's a total union with it. Like the exhale after realizing you've been holding your breath for years. And here's the thing. This state isn't some mystical mountaintop prize. You've touched it before. In a quiet after laughter, in a walk, deeply present, in silence that somehow fills you instead of empties you. Samadhi is those fleeting moments when you remember that you and the universe are, at your core, on the same team. A tiny practice. Take one full breath in and out with your whole awareness. Just one. Notice the stillness that sneaks in afterwards. That's the doorway. The rest is just remembering how to stay there a little longer. Samadhi reminds you that wholeness was never meant to be earned. It was always home. I want to thank everyone for showing up today and watching this presentation. Much love to everyone. Here are the references. And then don't forget to take your free 4x6 printout reminder card for this week. And if you have any questions, my email address is on the cards. And to see or watch more videos, my YouTube channel is also listed here. I look forward to seeing you guys again next week. Thank you again.